So is football the biggest global expansion of African identity?
Is football the biggest global expression?
Yeah.
I actually don't think so.
I do think so.
I actually don't think so.
I do.
I think African music is a bigger. I initially I thought it was football, right? Initially I thought, but Africans are more known for music and maybe fashion before sports.
Okay, you want to talk about it currently or historically?
Okay, historically, but currently is actually football.
No, currently it's actually music.
No.
Yes.
Historically is not. It has not been sports.
Wait, you go in Houston, you walk out. People don't really know about soccer at all or football, but they will talk to you about Afrobeats and they'll talk to you about African cuisine.
In 2026 right now, they're talking about African football in Houston. If you go on Texas Avenue, that's the reason why I texted you Texas Avenue.
You don't have to go to Texas Avenue. Go to the third ward, man. Go to the third ward. And
that is very true.
Ask to these people, they'll say, yeah, I know some African, I know about jollof rice, I know about Afrobeat.
And right now, I think it's just been African music. African beats for the last
I don't think about historically because back in the days, when you hear about Africa, it was cannibalism, wars, and all type of wild and savage behaviors outside of Africa. The only light that was shining for Africa was sports. And that's how you have...
mostly in the Western world?
Yes. You had people like when you talk about them, old heads, they might not know who is the president of Cameroon, but they know who is Roger Mila. They know who is Samuel Eto'o. They might not know who is... They might not know who is the current president or who has been the president of Ivory Coast. If you go to London, nobody will tell you who is the president of Ivory Coast. But if you tell them, give the name of one Ivorian person, they'll tell you Didier Drogba is the person they know. Because the biggest way to have Africa to shine back then, it was football. And that's why they got rewarded with the 2010 World Cup. It was actually a way to have like Africa being recognized as a football continent, and they gave
beyond what the other things are.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, right now it could be music and cuisine and all that,
fashion.
But like historic and fashion for sure. And historically, football was the biggest expression. So we're talking about football players ending wars.
Everybody has been talking about Africa as a continent.
It's more because the last 3 AFCONs got big media attention from the Western world. Now they're looking at African football differently. Yeah. Oh yeah, shout out to that.
So we're going to have to do some bold takes here, right?
All right, bold
because we're talking about African teams. A lot of teams, 10 countries, 10 teams in the World Cup 2026. United States, Canada, Mexico. Of course, we have to give our takes on what we think is going to happen, right? I want you to be honest when I ask you this question. Like, I need you to be very honest. Will any African team win the World Cup in 2026? Be honest.
It's just like it's not a yes or no question. Can an African team win? Yes. Will is more complicated.
So you don't think there's an African team that's capable of winning the World Cup?
Statistically, there is 20% of chance for an African team to win an AFCON because it's 10 countries out of 48. And that is the 20%.
That's a very high chance.
The 20% is assuming that all the teams are equal.
And they perform equally.
Yes, which is not true because also no African country has ever won the World Cup. So can an African team win? Yes, I can really put my money on Senegal and Morocco. But will they? That's harder to say based on what we know historically about the African continent.
I'm going to say something and you might get upset.
Don't tell me Congo's going to win it.
Listen, hear me out. You're hearing this for the first time on this podcast. After 52 years, the struggles of almost beating Senegal and then you lose, right? And then you go knock Nigeria out. And then you go and play Jamaica, send Jamaica home. And then all of a sudden, you are in the World Cup and you have the opportunity to play against Portugal and the Ronaldo. After 52 years. You don't think these players are hungry? I think they are. I think the sleeping cats, what we call them, are going to wake up and Democratic Republic of Congo is going to win the World Cup in 2026.
hunger enough to win a competition.
Yes, hunger is enough because they already have the talent. This team has been sleeping. This team has not been hungry.
So-
but when you are hungry, and I'm talking about hungry as in angry and hungry at
I'm
the same
talking
time,
about-
hungry to win the World Cup, I think Congo is going to win because they have the talent, they have the skill. They're not, as long as they're not scared of beating Portugal
See, this
and
is
all
why-
these other teams.
This is why we should have not qualified.
What do you mean?
How did Cameroonians do to, after 7 years, stop having this type of talks, or Ivorians? We just came back after 52 years and we qualified by the tiniest door. We could have been
It was
qualified.
not a tiny door. We played against international teams. We played against teams from all over the world.
Yes, if we were qualified from the first round, being top of our group, yes, that could have been a
doesn't
discussion,
guarantee you anything.
putting Senegal second. But no, we were second. We had to play Cameroon, Nigeria, Jamaica. Like that's the tiniest hole of the qualification pool, and we got through that. And you just think that hunger is just gonna solve everything to win the World Cup?
Yes, because guess what? Those same players that managed to send Cameroon home, there's some players that managed to send Nigeria home. Nigeria, they carry last. Then we go play Jamaica. We send Jamaica home. What more can we do? We can send Ronaldo and Portugal home. We can send every other team home and win the World Cup. I think it's possible. And I think Democratic Republic of Congo is going to be that team that shocks everybody. And I think Cedric Bakambu is going to be the player that everybody talks about. Because as much as you
shocking.
people don't believe in him, he's going to be the one to lead Congo.
Oh, trust
to
me,
the World Cup championship.
we've had our fair share of shocking people at the World Cup. Yes.
Yes.
By
and we are going
9-0, by having a freaking corner kick that was supposed to be for the Brazilian team, but we went ahead and kicked it. So yeah, we've had our fair share of shocking people at the World Cup. Trust me on that.
And
I
this
don't
time
doubt.
it's going to be a good type of shocking.
I hope so, but
It is.
we're not gonna see. We're talking about being honest over here, man.
I am being honest. That's my honest opinion. That is actually my honest opinion. I honestly feel like Congo has a big chance of winning and they will take that chance and they're going to win. We've all been scared of all these teams.
Hold on. We're talking about, and I'm not even going to talk about the group phase. Yes, we've beat Nigeria, Cameroon, great teams in football.
They're better than Portugal.
Cut the émission.
You don't want to continue anymore. Anyways, let's move on to the next question. Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's talk about their qualification. Do you think, I feel like I can already know the answer to this question. Do you think their qualification is a one-time miracle or are they a future World Cup champions?
I do believe that they're future champions. World Cup, I don't know, but are future champions for sure. AFCON first.
So you don't think they're future World Cup champions? So you
maybe
think,
in some years.
you think this is a miracle?
I did not say it's a miracle. There is no miracle in football. There is no miracle.
If you're Moroccan, yes.
Shoot. For those who play the sport, know that there is no miracle in football. You put in the work.
Moroccans, there's a miracle because they're about to get handed the AFCON Cup. That's a miracle.
Well, it would have been a miracle if they only played one game and they gave them the cup. They had to reach the final to get there. So it's
I know, but they didn't win the final, but they're about to miraculously get to the cup.
That's according to the competition rules. Some players left the pitch. That's not for me to make a decision. Yeah, you got instances for that. But it would have been a miracle if they only played one game and they gave them the cup. But no, they won all the game and reached the final, so there is no miracle.
Okay,
and the
let's go back
Congolese
to
team is not a miracle team because this is the result of the work they've been putting for the past decades. Yes, we had a dark period from 2019 to 2021, but like we've been putting the work by finishing third in the last AFCON. We had some setbacks on this AFCON for sure, but we got there with a team that's been playing together for the past 4 years. We see evolution. We see them evolving. You see them going head to head against Senegal twice. You saw them finishing second in group phases with Senegal, both on the World Cup qualifications and the AFCON. Yeah. So it's not a miracle. It's the champions in the making. For the World Cup, it would take more time, but for the AFCON, I am pretty sure it's coming soon.
Very soon.
And mostly with the new generation of very talented players coming, like Dylan Bakwa and all Mayulu, hopefully.
And also Romeo Lavia.
Exactly. And Mokyo. So yes, of course, I do believe that we're gonna have a better team in the next years. For the World Cup, it might take more time, but for the AFCON, it might come sooner than we think.
I like that. I like that. So which team do you think is going to disappoint the most in the World Cup? Do you think Senegal or Egypt?
DRC.
Go on. Go on.
No,
Don't
I'm
just
just.
me. We get good choices here. Between Senegal and Egypt, who's going to disappoint the most? Look at history.
Okay, we're gonna put aside the 8. Only DRC and Egypt. I mean, only
Senegal
Senegal and Egypt.
and Egypt.
Egypt.
Huh? Explain.
Senegal had better rounds in the last two in the last two AFCONs. 3, well, no, 2.
And they also have players.
Both teams have players, but we're gonna look into the teams and what they've achieved so far in the. That's a tricky question. Can you be disappointed in a team that has never won a game? I just realized how tricky that question is.
What are you talking about? The question was straightforward.
It's not actually straightforward because is Egypt being kicked out on the first round is a disappointment? Is it a disappointment?
It is a disappointment.
How is it a disappointment if they never won in any World Cup game? It's just gonna be like another year, another failure. So you don't get easily disappointed by the last of your class.
I know, but listen to this. Listen to this. They look at their run, look at history, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how they've performed. Mm-hmm. Do you think they're more likely to do better now in 2020, the World Cup, or do you think they're just going to continue the losing streak?
I do believe they were more likely to do the best in 2018. Salah was in his prime. The group phase, the group stage, their group was really at their hands.
So you agree that Salah is doing well right now for them to do better? Well,
Salah is past his prime. He's still a very dangerous player, but he's past his prime. Like they lost 5-0 to Saudi Arabia.
Well, Saudi Arabia, listen.
No, who would have expected Egypt to lose 5-0 to Saudi Arabia? And they had top players at that time. So really, when you look at the 2018 World Cup and you see that they're disappointed. I don't think they can ever bring a bigger disappointment than that.
Okay.
So now, which means that who would be a bigger disappointment? Now I might switch off to Senegal.
Oh, it would be a biggest disappointment if they don't do good.
Yes. Because yes, Egypt has a big name, but based on the history, the run they have on the AFCON, if they don't do great,
it won't be that.
I will be like, yeah, they're a great team. They did not, but it's the usual. Senegal, they've done quite well in 2018, better in 2022. So I feel like this should be the continuity of what they've been doing. So if they don't deliver, I might actually get more disappointed.
Oh, I like how you took that question. Yeah. I like where you took that question. I actually do agree with you. I feel like if Senegal played poorly, especially with the level of talent that they have, and their run, historically, and now, I feel like I would be more disappointed. Yeah. Especially when we're talking about AFCON champions, 2026 AFCON champions, going to the World Cup. It would be very disappointing. Then let's talk about Ghana. I'm sorry. I read the question. Ghanaians, you guys are here in the World Cup. Nigeria is not. So you guys have a lot to talk about.
That's y'all's moment.
This is Ghana's moment. Are they still living off of the 2010 FIFA World Cup hype? No. Or do you think they're actually good, potential contenders for the World Cup?
They're actually good potential contenders for the World Cup. Contenders to reach further
in the World Cup than the 2010.
The 2010 was quarterfinals and this close to reach the semifinals. Not further. That generation was the golden generation of Ghana. Yeah. But I kind of see them going past the round of 32 and even past the round of 15. I see them quarterfinal. I see them in quarterfinal for sure. Okay. Yaki Williams don't disappoint. I trust in you, man.
We're talking about Ghanaians. All they do is disappoint sometimes. So now, this is our last and final question. And if you have an answer to this question, let us know. We've been talking about Africa as a continent, the influence that Africa has on the global scale. People are talking about AFCON. People are talking about Africa in music, fashion, everything. Now you're talking about education. We have some of the most educated people that come from our continent. Now, The big question is, who is the real giant of Africa right now?
In football, right?
If I asked a Nigerian this question, they would have said Nigeria is the African giant. They're not even going to acknowledge that they didn't make it to the World Cup. They're not going to acknowledge
that's their take because they came up with that. But like, logically speaking, you might find giants in other areas than just globally.
Okay, if we're looking at football right now, who is the true giant of Africa when it comes to football? Just sports. This should be an easy answer for you. Cameroon.
Yeah.
Cameroon.
Yep.
Huh.
Because Cameroon has historically, currently, gotta be Senegal.
We're talking about right now.
Okay, right now, as of right now, no. Because historically, I'm going to go for Cameroon.
The question
says,
says, who's the real giant of Africa?
That's what I'm saying.
Right
because
now.
I would have gone for Cameroon because Cameroon has a better balance when it comes to AFCON and World Cup, for sure.
True.
But right now, I will go for Senegal. Or Morocco. Depends. I'll go for Morocco, though. I'll go for Morocco because I realize that Morocco also has greater rounds when it comes to their clubs in the continent. And I feel like Africans will undervalue African competitions. Like African Champions League and African Cup of Confederations are being undervalued. And I want to bring a value to that. Since Morocco is doing great on the international level, on the continent level, I would say the African giant right now in football is Morocco.
What happened to Senegal?
Senegal can come second. Senegal right now, they're the strongest national team. Mm-hmm. But club-wise, it's not really that.
Mm-hmm. But World Cup?
World Cup, yes. They will deliver. And they have been on a better streak than Morocco. But Morocco still remains the power force of Africa.
Okay. Well, I will agree to disagree.
Like usual.
But I think for me, the true giants of Africa, and I'm not even going to be biased. I'm not saying this to be biased. I think the true giant of Africa is Congo. It's Democratic Republic of Congo.
Aye.
Wait, come back. Come back, sit down. I think Democratic Republic of Congo are the true giant of Africa. We might not have a strong runs or a strong balance internationally, national level.
We have no balance.
Listen, we might not. But everybody's talking about us. Everyone is talking about us.
It was a good hype on social media after we beat Jamaica, but that's it, man. What do you mean? Everybody's talking about us.
Look at even in AFCON, people were underestimating us. We have been slept on. We've been the underdog of our whole story.
We have been slept on because we're sleeping.
We were sleeping.
We've been sleeping.
We woke up and we've done so well in African sports, in African football. We've done so well that everybody knows Democratic Republic of Congo.
At the time Congo won the second AFCON, how many countries had already won 2 AFCONs and more? Egypt maybe. I don't remember if Cameroon had reached 2 because we won in 68 and 74. So it wasn't a lot of countries that already, like most of them winners. Zambia never had an AFCON. Ivory Coast never had an AFCON. Senegal never had an AFCON. And who else? Morocco never had an AFCON. Tunisia never had an AFCON. Ghana already had an AFCON at that time. So it was a lot of countries that had never won an AFCON. So we made a name in African football at that time. And we still hold the record of the most goals scored by a single player on one African, on an AFCON run.
Which makes us giants.
It doesn't make a giant. We were a dominant force in the 1970s for sure. But it's been 52 yeyears.
Yes.
Yes, we've won 2 African championships in the meantime in 2009, 2016 because we had a championships. We had a league that could deliver on the African level. But calling us a giant because of what we did before, considering that we've been sleeping.
We were sleeping.
People slept on us because we've been sleeping.
The past 5 years.
South Africa has been playing better. Senegal, Morocco, Algeria. How can we be giants when we're not even on the top 5 of African teams?
See, my only issue is, right, you only looking at it from a sports perspective, and my answer is looking at it overall. Just not sports, we're improving every day in sports. Look at our journey on the sports side. Look at music. We have a big impact. A lot of African countries, they feed off of the type of music. We have a lot of historical music, like a lot of musicians historically that have paved the way for African music. The only issue that we didn't go mainstream the way Afrobeats did is because we didn't speak English. That's the only reason why our Congolese music didn't go as far as Afrobeats.
Not necessarily.
That aside, fashion, we're killing it. So, the big three things: food, everybody likes our food. Anyways, so all of those things are important to me. So when I look at us, I think we are a giant of Africa. I'm just going to say that.
Cap.
Morocco is only giant of Africa. We're talking about sports. Everything else,
that's not true.
Those are all logical arguments.
For Congo? Okay, well, we'll let the comment section decide.
Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been great.
I hope y'all will have as much fun as we did. Stay active, like, subscribe, comment. We want to read we want to read your comments. Give us feedbacks, and we'll see you on the next section.
Thank you. I am African Podcast here. I'm your host Liz, and we have Melody here. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.